decent day. I think it was pretty hard at first, and then they started selling. I got stopped 3 times trying to. I mean, I was making money at some point, but I was being greedy, looking for more. I got stopped 2 times on the long side, even though it was up on points, but then it was on the long side, even though. And then the last time here, I was able to catch this, as well as the last round right before the close. I was targeting 43, 40, I'm sorry, and they came right to it like maybe 10 minutes after, but I was already out at closer to 30. So, but overall, it was a pretty good day, I would say. Not the easiest day for a lot of people when you have a lot of chop like this. There's things that you should be paying attention to in terms of the trend strength. And what do you guys think? How's the trend looking here? Is it pretty strong downtrend, or is it? What is it looking? Is it looking like it's stalling, or
It
is it
looks like a strong downtrend. Like, yeah, I thought it was ending though.
Well, how would you guys know it's ending?
Well, the shape was the
Excess on the
profile.
bottom.
We should see some first. We should see some excess on the bottom, right? We want to see the other time frame participants are stepping in when they find a level that they're really interested. They're not going to spend a lot of time on it. Like if we come here, let's say for instance this level, and they do this, well, that's most likely that there's a lot of limit buyers sitting here and they're looking to go long. And these are the green level here is pretty big as well. Does that make sense? So right now, when you're, if you just look at the breaks, right, that you've had, and we've had a lot of, I would say, quite a few days where we did not close above the previous day. So if you guys go here, see, I'm trying to increase this so that way I don't have to zoom out a lot. Okay, so if you guys look here, from the sell-off, how many times have we closed higher than the previous day? So it started selling off, and look, this day here, you did not close. This day here, you didn't. Here, you did not. You closed at the bottom. So there was really not much, when you think about buying pressure and switching the auction, what do you want to see? Well, first of all, when you're selling off, you want to see nice imbalances and a value shift. So if you pay attention, right, let's say if this was our value, right? They're happy, the value shifted, right? And then you guys remember the short cover rally, and then you see the value shifted drastically, on a gap down, and now the value is being built here. And then you have another sell-off, and you see this one is pretty aggressive. It seems like they retraced about half of it here at the mid-back. They built value lower, right? And now kind of that's where we are right here, right? So we're shifting the value lower, right? Down, down, down. But what you don't want to see when you're, selling off too much, when you do break imbalances, when you break balances, with imbalance, right? The key is to see what? You want to see a run away from value, right? And when you look at this profile, I increased it quite a bit here. So when you look at today's profile, right, and this should tell you how to play the day. If you think about this right here, so I'm just going to delete some of these green lines so you guys are, that one's pretty big. That one's pretty important. So now if you look at this, right, so the value, this one here had two values, was split on the top side here and the bottom side. And then you see that there was a lot of value being built here. They tried to build value on Wednesday here, higher. And then you see, and we talked about this level, I guess the night before, yesterday, I think yesterday or a day before. Remember we talked about this level, right? If they lose this 90, right, there's a high chance that, they're most likely going to auction lower. And even during the date today, I mentioned, right, when we failed somewhere around here, I think it was this one here, when we were failing at 66, I said, if they don't reclaim that, there's probably a high chance we're going to put in a new low, and that low was here. So they're able to crack that, and then you see the low was kind of respected here pretty well for the rest of the day. So if you grab this, draw a line, that low was, they were not letting them go above it right now. So a pretty big level. And then when you look at this picture, right, to me, this is, just visual and not too much complication, right? So if I merge this profile with this profile and I merge the other one here, look what you get. Does everybody see what I did or understand it? So where's the value now? Where's the value that the bulls want to get in?
Value area low.
Well,
55.68.
I would say they want to crack above this zone, right? If they can crack this zone, what should we expect?
The
Short
more
cover.
low from today.
Yeah, I would expect, probably you can go to the high of the day, which was, in this case, it was the Virgin POC here or TPOC. They came nicely to it, right? And also weekly VWAP here. So if you crack this, there's a high chance 5603, and then I would ultimately think that, they're going to go to this level again where we rejected, I would say numerous times right now, we've been rejected here. So if you go here and you just change these candles for a second, you'll see, right? Let's see, 15 minutes and look how that area is held. And this 3540 was your single print. Do you guys recall that?
Yep.
Okay. Does everybody else know what I'm talking about? So
I'm not sure.
in this area here, remember we had that weird M price action right here? Like M, otherwise it would have been single prints, right? H, that's when M bounced all the way. I don't know if you guys recall, but it went all the way up, and this is the area that it basically left. And we haven't been able to crack that. And when you think about what I just drew, right? If this is our value, and this is the separation, and this is the bottom value and separation, well, what do the bulls want to reclaim? Well, bulls want to trade here. They want to get accepted inside here. If they do, they can do this really, really easy. That's not much for type of volatility that we've had recently. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So now, your value area high is going to be important. That's 66, and I would probably draw the rest of this zone like this and play it in such way, right? Look above and fail. That's as bearish as it can get because we're still accepting prices, lower. Right now, if they continue tomorrow, if they want to continue selling, this is your previous day low. Now pay attention to it, right? As we auction to it, how do we behave, right? Do we find buyers? Do we sweep? And then we find single prints? Maybe, but we have a lot of big levels here below. Just be aware of it. So for me to be bullish, I want them above the 66.75. If they can't reclaim that, there's probably more down coming. As of right now, this is not a clear. I mean, it is a sell-off, right?
Dylan has a hot mic again.
Oh, Dylan, she's calling you out. So as of right now, right, we are shifting down and accepting prices lower, right? So we closed, your settle prices like right here. Sure.
We just rejected 66.
Oh, right now?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a pretty good short. I don't know who's trading, but that's a really, really good short.
I took it. Yep.
I mean, if you can catch this any time of day, that's good. But this is probably a level where they want to hold right now, 59. So now you want to, if I was trading this, I would watch to see how do they behave, like literally right here. Can they get out of this or not? Can they break this box to the upside? If they can't, then most likely they're going to go all the way to this POC.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions on ES? Does it make sense? Is anyone confused? Like, what are you talking about?
Shorty, what do we want to see on the downside for this to end?
So what you want to see access. You need to find access, just like we've seen it before at the highs, right?
Yep.
We haven't seen that. And for the auction to change, what is the first thing they have to do tomorrow?
Frame up.
We need to frame up on a daily. I mean, we are, if I just turn off the dailies here for a second, let me turn on monthly, for instance, here. This one's even better, right? This one gives you a clear picture, right? So if you guys think about this, right, I'm just gonna increase it a little bit more, 18. So here's your monthly, right? So we have, half the March, right? So obviously we're in balance here. You're in balance here, then you broke down, right? Which the low is about 817 or so. And you see the value shifting drastically, right from away from the value, right? I don't want to draw, but like right from here, where the range was, you see the value area high is sitting there. So now if you're a bull on a higher time frame, what's the level you want to reclaim? Would you be happy to be above this POC?
Yeah, that's 603.
This one is sitting right around, I would say 6,000 to about, I would say 84. But it's a monthly, I would give it a little bit more information. If they reclaim this, what do you think happens? Well, for one, you're gonna find out, who's sitting at this level at this 51 level here, who's sitting there and who's selling there. If they're able to absorb that, right? If they're able to get inside here, I would say most likely you can run all the way to 57.62. And this would be a major, major level, right? That you should be aware of, right? So I would think that's gonna be easily possible there if they decide to run.
But what about down? How far down can they go? What's down there?
So monthlies, I would say, you're still framing down far away from here to change it, right? So monthly is still intact for more, right? And then here's your support. Your big support is coming at 5,400. And then if you guys look at just ES, so for the purpose of seeing a lot of volume, may change this to about 3 days so you guys can see it. Let me hide this for a moment. I'll hide Orbit Vivo. Where are you? Okay, so if you guys look at this, right? I mean, if I go on weekly, where did the trend start on this?
4,100?
No, like where did the trend start? Like we had up here, then you had lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower low, and then the trend really shifted, I would say, when you came somewhere around 4,300. That's where character changed, right? Because this is still lower high and a higher low, lower high and a higher low, and most people, as you guys know, they look at this and they draw triangles, right? And whatever that means for them. They look at this and they're like, we're breaking a retest or whatnot, right? But this is here is where the change of character happened. You have higher high, lower high, lower high, lower lows. You have a higher high, right? And they cleaned it up and they came back and they developed. So what I like to do, as you guys know, I like to grab the, from the bottom first candle, and then here you can grab the top, but there's no reason. I can just grab to this candle here so I can see the nodes and I don't care about this distribution. If you want to grab it, certainly you can grab it. It's just going to look more thick on the top, right? And if I don't extend it here, you see how, kind of bleak it looks up top. But what this does for you, right, when you guys are trading on volume, right? So pay attention to now, what I'm about to do here. Let's go. Okay. So this is where you are now. When you think about volume and shelves, what do you think is happening right now here on ES?
Close to that LVN.
Bouncing.
I mean, you're very close to this, black hole here. So if they lose this level, let's say they lose this low today, well, most likely, you can at least catch 5389, and you see where the next high volume node is, right? So you have 5300, and then you have a massive one at 5200. And if you guys go on PVP for a second, I'm just kind of helping you guys see it through volume. Let me just adjust this. Yep. Okay, so here's our 24, right? You guys see where the 2024 POC is? This would be your 2024 POC right here. And if the value was here, right? This is the value of 2024, and we just now entered it. And a lot of people are asking, what are the, where's the end? Certainly, right? We can have an end, but your magnet, right, for this price action is coming back to 52.40. I don't think they're gonna stop till they reach this, or they reach here, right? That would be a really good value find for them. And then when you think about this, right, this was a really big prior all-time high, if you guys remember. I don't know who does or who doesn't, but this was a big level that we couldn't really crack for a long time. We tried, we auctioned till it fell, and now if you look here, would this be the best scenario that they do right here? I would say probably. Because from here now, if you can't reclaim this, let's say 50, what is this, 5,700? If you can't reclaim that, and there's a little LVN there, right? Oops, sorry. There's an LVN right there. I don't know if you guys can tell, like right here, there's a little LVN there. If they can't reclaim that, guys, I mean, the market's telling you something, right? And you shouldn't make a different story out of it. Market's telling you they're not interested in higher prices than last year. And if they're not interested in higher prices last year, they have to search buyers lower. And until we find some access on the bottom where we find demand that's like, oh my God, we can't wait to buy here, you have no reason predicting the bottom. Like you have zero reason to predict the bottoms yet. And you can apply this to every stock. I mean, I don't know what you guys trade, right? Same here. I mean, where do you think Nvidia's headed? Anyone want to take a wild guess? If they don't reclaim, let's say, what is this, 120? Where do you think they're going?
You're gonna hit that first node.
Yeah, they're
51.
most likely going here, and then our dream, for long-term portfolio would be here, right? Like if they're to offer this on Nvidia, this would be a hell of a deal. At least I would think so at 50. And don't say it can't happen. I promise it can. Then you look at, let's say Apple. I don't know. I haven't looked at Apple. Ooh. Oh man. Golly, yeah, that's short. I should have stayed in. Yeah, I had Apple. I had a really good short on Apple, but so this right here is probably where Apple is gonna take a little break. 197, and you guys see why? If you think about it, it's your value area high. We went above. We tested it here once, right? And we said, hey, we want prices higher. Then they accumulated here. They went higher. They fell immediately back inside. Now you're cracking this value. Most likely you're coming here, but you're ultimately going to this 184. And I would not be shocked if we see Apple somewhere in this range right here. And this would be a decent buy. 160 would be, for long-term holders, that's not a bad buy. I would think Apple's headed somewhere here, probably 170 bounce somewhere in this area. This HVN is pretty massive. Does that make sense? And same concept, guys. I mean, Tesla, it's identical to what we did, when we called it from whatever it was, 400, when we said 220. So here's your 220 bounce. It held, and now what do you see them doing here, right? You're on a yearly profile, and this is their value for 2024. Agree? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get out, and if they're able to get out, that might be good. But another thing you have to do on this one is you really have to look at the bigger picture here, right? So if you look here, for instance, look where the value is. Let me go. Look where the value is. Tesla really has to reclaim 270 in order for, be accepted above 270 for this to go higher. There's high chances right now if they fail, right? If they fail to find any buyers here to kind of propel it higher, you're gonna buy Tesla a lot cheaper prices, and I trim pretty much all my shares. And otherwise, we're headed to 168. This will be my next zone, and I'm not buying Tesla now till it comes to this zone. right? I bought it at 220 and a quarter or 221 and a quarter. I sold it mainly at 250, and it was the same concept, guys. Same idea. You're accumulating, you're failing twice to reclaim it, and if you switch this to 3 months, actually becomes really good. Here you'll see this now on 3 months, but look at this. I mean, remember, this is where Trump got elected somewhere, I believe, like right around here, and they had a massive run and a lot of poor structure. I mean, this all here is poor. And then, how do we know where they're going to go? Well, this is the level I was watching right here. And this was a little zone, if you guys remember. Same concept. They lost a massive, massive value here and a lot of poor structure. And look how fast they filled it. And now, they need, certainly, right, they're going to trade inside this little zone. And if they can't find buyers out of it, they're going to go to the bottom here, 190. And then you see here, there's probably high odds that they're going to offer some sort of bounce here. People are going to start accumulating or buying in this area. Same concept everywhere, guys. I wouldn't. Let me see. AMD, yeah, AMD is going to 81. I forgot to look at this. Oh man, I forgot to look at this. I hate this stock company with passion. They were $70. All right. Any questions on ES? Did I lose anyone? Makes sense. Did I answer your questions on where I can expect it? I'm expecting 52.40 to be retested. And if we, like I mentioned, if you lose this value here, guys, the low, this becomes a, I would say, pretty fast ride down. And look at it now. You lose this, there's not much stopping you until 5,400. It becomes a true magnet, guys. So, and we just have to play accordingly. I think tomorrow morning, if it holds, right, I would expect them to bounce it here. And I'll be interested to see, right? And they just rejected it. If they can reclaim this overnight and then they lose it during the RTH, what do you think you want to do?
Shorty with them.
No, it'd be very easy short, right? You get inside here, they lose it, and then most likely you can catch it to about 40, right? Because they're building some kind of value here in between. You see how it looks. Sorry. So if I go on 65 minutes, it might look a little bit better. So if they get inside here, that's pretty good for bulls, right? They're reclaiming it, most likely end the framing down on daily. But as of right now, they have to crack this level. Otherwise, this is a short level still. That would mean SPY is up like what, $4? $554, yeah. Yeah, they're building some support on SPY here, so. And SPY has another, I believe, $10 to go. SPY has another, I think it's 540 to 530. Yeah, this is the next zone for SPY. But definitely keep an eye on this, and it's not hard. If you're new to this, this is not very difficult to know the zones. So let me see if I can turn this. So now you can see why, right? You see this massive LVN here, also value area low, value area high, a nice little gap. You basically drop it here to 518, reclaim this, this becomes a pretty good long. Yep. And I would say, tomorrow I think we have see what do we have. So tomorrow we have the consumer sentiment, right? The Michigan. I would expect them to do, move the market in such a way, but as always, right? I'll let the dust settle before you attempt to do something if you're not comfortable. News are binary events, they can play it any way they want. And right now it seems like everything is pointing towards selling. But I'll be careful as we arrive to this level on SPY, guys. And even this level here is probably going to offer a decent opportunity for a bounce, like right here at 545. So we're not too far from it. I would definitely watch this level tomorrow and SPY. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys had a good session. I'll see you guys live tomorrow.
Thanks, Shorty. Appreciate it, man.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Night.
Appreciate it, man.